All right, everybody. Thank you for jumping on with me. I got my girl, Mindy Tibbs, who's got me crying post podcast, which means you know this one's going to be a barn burner. Senior Vice President of FFL Believe, Hall of Fame producer. We were joking, Mindy, about you with your business exploding and you knowing your numbers from the girl who said, maybe, possibly, potentially, maybe, one day, I don't know, perhaps, to this, fired up, growing it month over month, and knowing all your numbers, all the players, connecting with your team, growing it, and aspirations of making it bigger. That's incredible. Sometimes the business just gets in you. But how are you today?
I am so good. It's crazy to look back on just the last podcast that you and I did, and we were not even close to where we're at now. And like you said, the business gets in you and it pushes you, and you're riding the bull. So you're either going to ride it or get bucked off, and you got to figure out what you're going to do. And so just God's grown this thing like crazy. I'm excited to talk about it. I think credit is deserved where credit is due, and it's just the team. It's incredible.
That's great. I
I'm
love
good.
what you said. You're going to ride the bull or you're going to get bucked off. You kind of got to figure it out. That's real. You've ridden that bull.
Yes.
I think you've been on both sides of that statement. When did you decide that you were gonna ride?
Just truly seeing the potential and the impact that it was making, like not being cliche, dude, like literally the impact it was making and the impact people were telling me that it was making on them, and then seeing them tell other people, and just, I don't know, man, just seeing the ripple effect and how it's grown so quickly. It's here, right? So I'm either going to work hard and make it happen and do everything I can to continue to grow it, or you're going to quit. Because let's be honest, at this point, it's one or the other. Like, you're going to quit because you're intimidated, which I am, or you're going to say, all right, Lord, let's do this thing.
That's amazing.
That's it. He gave us seeds to the sower. You and I have talked about this. He gives the seeds, and now it's growing, and I either let it die or I do something with it. Well, do you like how we use like 45 metaphors within 1 minute?
I only get that inspiration when I'm running with you, Mindy. So I'm fired up that you're pushing me right now. That's strong. But you're right, and you're clearly doing something with it. You guys, what'd you finish March with? March was a 5-week month. How did you finish that month?
314 families in March.
Came back in April. April was a 4-week month. So you had one less week to do the numbers. What'd you do in April?
307 families.
No doubt. And you just looked at your board to make sure you had the number right. I saw that. But
what board, Mark? I have one here. What board?
So essentially 20% growth from 1 month to the next month. Yes. That is called momentum. Some people like to call it the big mo.
Just our submit today. It shows that we're already on pace to crush it as well. In May, today we submitted 141 families.
No one's better. It's just it comes with everything. It's like
we're the package deal.
So 141 families this week.
Yes, praise the Lord.
It's getting real, man. You're collapsing time. Let's discuss this. This has got to be very exciting. So, number one, how does it feel to be moving the business like this with obviously with your team and things?
It's intimidating. My husband's a silent rock. He's in the background. You'll never see him, but he's like, don't be intimidated by this. Like, God has allowed it and he's going to guide you through it. Pray for wisdom in business. Pray for discernment with certain people that you work with. And God's allowed it. that's it. He chose you for some reason, and so we're gonna do our best, and you're gonna run with it and do the best that you can. And I'm not, honestly, Mark, like I'm not this business savvy person. It's not a secret, right? I'm not the guy that's gonna be. I'm not the Joe Basso. I'm not gonna know every single like technicality, but that's what's incredible is you don't have to
Right.
grow. You have to work hard, you have to show up, and you have to care, and
Right.
you have to train. And I'm like, I can do that.
Right.
Like I can put up the numbers to lay up the example. I can train, I can answer those calls. I can be there for my agents, and dude, that's really all you need besides posting on social media as well. But I care, and I think it's evident. It's not a money transaction
Right.
between my agents and me. There's care, and I know what I'm talking about due to getting my butt kicked for almost 3 years. So that's all that's needed, and all of the tools that were collected in the tool belt, like, you understand there's agents right now getting their butt kicked. They're watching this, and you are struggling. You're
Mm.
drowning in chargebacks, you're this or that, but you need those tools in your tool belt for what is coming.
Right.
And if I did not have those really crappy hard days, if I didn't have my postpartum and last pregnancy working through that, then I can't help the girl who's new on my team with a 9-week-old newborn who
Mm.
submitted 6 families in a week. Like, you can't help those people until you're doing it yourself.
Right.
So it's just pretty cool how God helped me collect the tools that my tool belt needed. You don't need to be fancy. You don't have to be this bougie business person
Mm.
to grow a team. You just have to care and show up. And that's all I know how to do. So that's what I'll continue to do. And then getting business advice elsewhere that's needed to help continue to scale this and grow this.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, and I remember one of the first times we talked. I'm like, I already knew.
Yeah, yeah, I know you told me. I didn't. I'm glad you did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I already knew. I was like, I was prophesying then. I was speaking it out because I knew that all you had was all you needed, and that you had something on you still. Though that level of care that you have was more than enough. That's one of the things that's missing the most.
Sure.
Some people with the
100%.
business savvy and the business acumen can get it done because they understand KPIs and metrics and how to move numbers.
Yes.
If more people had what you're saying you have, which is just that you care and that it's not a financial transaction, because that's really what it takes to move people and build a big business,
Yes.
is caring more about people sometimes than you do about yourself, knowing you're
Yeah.
going to be okay. Not that, hey, your ribs are going to touch and you're going to die in the process of trying to save someone else, but you're going to be okay because you figured it out. And now it's like, how much can I pour in? That's why you keep attracting these major players. Major players don't come work with people that they don't think can help them. It's just that simple. So it's happening, right? And you are absolutely the reason. So it's just amazing to watch. Now, when you're watching it, when you watch it from your seat, people coming in, recruiting their warm market, bringing heat from day one. You just had your best submit week, so you understand the momentum is on your side. May the force be with you. What are you seeing, Mindy, when it comes to your team, your leaders, the ability to share information?
You'll be shocked at how many of your traits in this business are carried over to your agents, and that could be good or bad. Um, and the way that they also now manage their agents as well. Um, I think, like you said, Mark, like the care is evident there with people. Um, the work ethic people are noticing. If you're telling people to dial and you're not dialing, the respect level is going to be a little bit different there. I think if all if you don't feel necessarily qualified to grow the team, all you need to do is just dig in and get dirty, get on the phones, write the numbers, communicate with your team, let them shadow you. It's humbling. I'm going to be honest. It's very, yesterday I was running an appointments and I had 13 agents in a breakout room. I don't like that. I'm just being honest. I feel very uncomfortable. If I could, I would be in my own breakout room, and we laugh because I'll go in a breakout room and like 10 agents will follow and it's like, hold on, I'm trying to have a private conversation. But it's still very intimidating and very uncomfortable. And that's the things that people, I would say, don't really see that you need to do. But I think a lot of people kind of make the mistake of saying, okay, the team's starting to grow. I'm going to just sit back in the office and let go of the reins and let the team kind of do their thing and give like cold answers to people. But it always takes that one-on-one, at least where we're at now in the business, like that one-on-one care and that one-on-one time that a lot of people don't really want to do. And it's evident, it shows. And the growth doesn't lie. You know what I mean? And the way that the agents are growing their teams, it's incredible. David Starr and different people on his team, they respect and love him so much. And just overall, we just have a really incredible, humbling, inspiring culture that I'm honored to watch happen and grow. Like I've got these two new guys, Greg Wolf and Andrew Clays. I'm calling it. They're going to be incredible when we look back on this podcast now, and it's fun watching them get their butt kicked. Now, them calling me with the discouraging calls and thinking they know it all because they were in car sales, and then them falling straight on their face when they don't. Like, it's really cool, humbling moments, but I wouldn't be there for those moments if I wasn't in the trenches with them. And I just think whether you have one agent or you have 100 agents, being there with them and knowing they care about you, not your override, not what you can do for them, you care about them, is so crucial. And I hope and pray that everybody on my team feels that way.
That's huge, man. I remember you jumping in the Serve the People chat and just doing videos. Saying,
I have no idea. I look back on that, I'm like, oh, honey, no, why are you saying that? Do not use that script. That
but you
is
know
so
what, though?
bad.
You were, your heart. It was just your heart to serve. You just wanted to help people, and you knew that, you were having success and you could help somebody.
Yeah.
You helped a lot of people, man, And I think about that, just those simple acts of kindness, those simple acts of service that, of course, it's getting big, right? You did that when you had no agents.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're serving when you had no agents, just to help anybody who was willing to listen so that they didn't have to go through the same thing you went through. Of course, It's getting, this is just comical. Like, I love it. This story is amazing, and it's just continuing to morph itself. You might have one of the best stories. Maybe it's the way you tell it, and then you say,
The drama.
But I mean, even the logo FFL Believe, that comes from something, and it's like, I just love it, man. I just love it. You talk, and I just hang on to every word. And your delivery is just incredible. Let's talk about, your team's all doing telesales. You're talking about live dials, talking about the breakout rooms. And can you walk us through the live dial and how you guys are onboarding agents and helping them understand not only is telesales the way to go, but how to be successful doing telesales?
I'm at the point where I don't even let agents start until they've spent at least 2 full days listening to live dials. You need to listen, and whatever lead type they'll be working, I want you to listen to the person dialing that lead type. right? Because if you're working 6 to 12 months second chance, I'm not going to have you dial fresh because that expectation is not realistic for you. So whatever lead type they're dialing, I like them to shadow a person dialing specifically that lead type. So all the excuses are eliminated and up here when they go to dial, they know it's possible because I shadowed this person for 5, 6 hours dialing and I heard the rebuttals and I heard them book the appointments. And then the next day I'm going to sit and watch them run those appointments. I'm going to watch people run appointments. Um, I, I don't even, I'm not even going to connect you with a lead vendor and help you with leads until you shadowed. And believe it or not, I have people that will drop off, even though I've told them, you know, you need to spend at least 2 days shadowing on live dials. They can't even show up for that. And if you can't even show up for that, you're not going to show up for the business. So I'm not wasting my time or my manager's time. I'll tell them, like, we shouldn't be babysitting to be on live dials. Live dials is a privilege. It is such a huge asset that I was not given.
Right.
And it makes me wonder where production would have been if I was able to sit in on live dials and listen to not just one, but 3, 4, 5 top producers. I mean, you know, I know it sounds repetitive because everybody says it, but like live dials is not just like a cliche thing. It's a legit learning war zone to where you get the best possible experience in the business to see rebuttals, sales, get your butt kicked, dialing, like everything is there. And if you can't show up for that, then you're not going to show up for the business. So go back to your 9 to 5 because this is not for you. So I get in a breakout room anytime we post in daily sales, you know, we'll post what room number we were in. But I show up, they listen to me dial, they listen to me run appointments. They'll ask and pick my brain, why didn't you position this? And we'll talk about why we didn't do that. But they can't do that, Mark, if I'm sitting in the office, like not running, right? So the reason that these people, these agents are exploding and you're seeing new faces that are exploding is because you're in the trenches. Like it is what it is. I almost wonder like at what point you stop doing that. Like if Nina and Hayden can be on live dials and they can still be selling sales, like why are people doing, you know, 1 million families or less a month, whatever, not on there showing up? So live dials have been just such a huge advantage. And I think that is why the team is growing so freaking fast, is because they're showing up on live dials. And I reward agents for that, by the way. If they're on live dials with me, if I have, you know, 12 to 15, I always have 12 to 15 appointments in a day. And if I've seen someone in the trenches on live dialing, kicking butt, I'll say, here, you got time? You have an appointment? Here's an appointment. I'll screenshot them, call the client.
Wow.
Here's an appointment for you. Or, hey, here's a lead. Call this person, book. I can't run tomorrow. Here's this. And they know, and I'm not giving that to people that are not on live dials. So I do reward agents, and they love listening to me dial because they know I don't run on Saturdays. And if someone says I can only meet tomorrow, I'll have 3 agents like this, like waiting, because they know that I'm going to give them, you know, that appointment for them to be able to run Saturday. And that's as a reward for them, you know, being on live dials. And little things like that mean a lot, especially when you see an agent struggling really hard. You know, putting your money where your mouth is at times when you know that it could really boost them, can make a huge difference in respect and care and relationship as well. It just shows it's not a business transaction. I actually do care and I want to help you get up because you are showing up. But can't see that if we're not on live dials.
No doubt.
So huge, what a freaking game changer. Incredible.
The speed is if people show up. Now, I love what you're saying. It's like everyone is showing up. Do you think the success is making people show up? Do you think the way you guys talk to them makes them show up? What do you think is the reason that everyone is showing up?
I think they see different top producers that are putting up some hefty numbers, and they want to know what they're doing. Like, what can I say better? What can I do better? You've got Koski already at ridiculous numbers for the year, and he's running live appointments. Why the heck are you not on there?
Mm-hmm.
If he's putting up numbers that are issue paying, why are you not there listening to him? My mind cannot compute with that. So, and it's not just him. You have this room, this whole live dial center with people doing that. On our team, you've got Jonah Lewis running, you've got Star, and you have Rosika, and you have Koski, and you have Vincent, who's the ratio that sticks, where the clients don't
The
cancel.
persistency
is
99%.
110%. He's ridiculous. Like, how's he closing those appointments? Like, people are just dumb. If you're not on live dials, you just don't care. And if you notice, the people not on live dials typically are not the ones producing. It just goes hand in hand. Or their team's not growing and their numbers are growing, but their team's numbers aren't.
That's crazy, man. That makes sense to me. I mean, basically it's a machine. And it's like, if you want to win, get on. And if you don't. We're going to live. We're going to be just fine. And then your team is just leading the way, smoking it. Oh my gosh.
They're incredible. They really are. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is when people take credit for, like, they kind of puff up their chest a little bit and take the credit of the people doing the work when they're not actually really doing the work as hard as those people. I will be the first to say we have a team of people who are freaking incredible. You just interviewed and talked with Holly. She's doing a million different things, and she's putting up the numbers. She's past Hall of Fame pace. You've got so many people on our team that are just freaking working hard and making it happen. And I wish I could name all of them, but you guys know who you are and other people know who they are as well. Can't take credit for it, dude. Like, they're just showing up, they're working hard, they're training agents, and they're making it happen. And I'm so proud to even be a tiny, small part of that in any way.
It's huge. What new agents listening now? Let's take a minute here, because I'm talking to Mindy Tibbs, everybody, for those who don't know who she is. But Mindy, you actually had to keep raising your belief level, and you're still doing that, right? You're still doing that. So you started where you started, and you've inspired plenty of people. I mean, I saw Mindy online, and she was doing this, and I'm asking her what she's doing, and you keep pulling people in as your belief level keeps going up. So if a new agent was on here and they're believing that this is a good opportunity, but they're not sure how to unlock it, or not sure how to get their belief level to that, this is not only a good opportunity, this could be a life-changing opportunity for me, because that's a real thing, right? Like, we can really kind of with our mouths state that if people are willing to put in the work and make the sacrifices. What are you saying to that person?
It's okay if you don't necessarily have the belief that you're going to be, this huge agency. Like, I did not, but I did have enough belief in my family and myself to be able to show up and work hard. And so you don't necessarily have to take thought for tomorrow. Okay, take no thought for tomorrow. But today, if you show up and you're mimicking things that other successful people are doing, well, you have a high likelihood of becoming successful, even if it's freaking on accident, which is what I jokingly say. Like, I don't take any huge credit for the team. This is something that's just been that God has incredibly developed through just me showing up and working. And it's contagious when you figure out and obsess over how you're gonna hit Hall of Fame. Okay, that attracts a lot of people. I feel like that attracts big dogs as well. Um, and then obsessing over, okay, I wrote this week. How can I write this more next week? How can I beat Koski? How can I, and running half the time? How can I, and I wasn't focused on necessarily everything that could be. I just focused on doing my best today. And I would say if that's you and you have that desire to have that agency, there is a roadmap within the company. I don't listen to people I don't want to become, even if they have the numbers there and the respect level and relationship and greed is there. I'm not going to listen to you because I don't want to become you. But the good thing is there's plenty of people within FFL where you'll respect them. They've worked hard, they truly care, and you can mimic whatever it is that they're doing. So, Exhibit A with team growth, I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I knew that when I posted a picture in the field helping a family, that I'd get a DM. So I'm like, what are you doing? What do you do? So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, this works, obviously. So I just kept posting, and literally so many players on our team are just from posting on social media. So if you're a new agent, start there and do it consistently. Figure out how to get your numbers up so you attract that, right? Success attracts people who want to be successful. So figure out how to get your numbers up and obsess over that and just simply post on social media. There's so much power in just doing those two things. Focus on what you can control, mimic people who are successful. And like I say to agents, it's okay if you don't feel like working today, but you need to show up and work. Same with this. If you don't believe in yourself, that's okay, but you need to show up and work, and you'll be shocked at how slowly over time you're like, holy crap, like maybe I do believe that this can become something. And I actually do. I actually really do believe now that it can become something. But yeah, listen to people that you want to become and mimic them and follow whatever it is that they're doing. Even if you don't think it'll become anything, you'll be shocked. Trust me. I didn't think it would. I didn't want it to, even necessarily. And now here I am giving my son a bath last night with answering 3 agents' phone calls and texting them, and then one saying, "What's your favorite lead in the business?" while my son's screaming and dumping water. It's here. It is what it is. And I do my best, and I do, what I can when I can.
Well, I'm trying to mimic Mindy Tibbs, and I appreciate you for getting on with me again and doing an amazing job helping so many people, always just transparent and just vulnerable and knowledgeable and just helping people. So thank you so much for all you do. You are amazing.
Thank you, Mark. You are too. Thanks for always believing in me. I remember you telling me that from the beginning. How many agents do you have? I said, I have 1 agent under me, and you said you have 1 agent with you. And ever since then, that's also been a huge pet peeve of mine. If someone says I have under, everyone is with you, because
awesome.
the only difference between, let me say one thing. The only difference between you and your agents is simply what's an HCMS, dude. You guys are both humans. You are not better than anybody on your team. It doesn't matter what is on the board or whose number goes to who. You're not better. You just have to show up and care and help them. And from there, it'll be contagious. So even if you have one agent or you have 100 agents, I guess out of this whole podcast, I would just say, don't make it a transaction. Make it like an actual legitimate care.
And I would say, don't stop believing. Mindy Tibbs.
Good thing I don't know the rest of the words, so I'm glad you stopped there.
Tri-State Training Day podcast. I don't know them either, so thank God. And I don't know what my pitch was on that, but I'm believing. Thank you for joining us. God bless y'all for listening. This is a barn burner. Play it back. Thanks, Mindy.
Thank you, Mark.